Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Jaavid Hengora, a professional homeopath and founder of Dubai Homeopathy Health Center in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I've been practicing homeopathy for the last 24 years, treating all sorts of medical conditions. And in this video today, I would like to talk about a crucial aspect related to the coronavirus pandemic, which I think is being largely ignored. This crucial factor is your immune system. The strength of the immune system determines whether you come out, successfully fight any infection, including the corona pandemic. Let's look at some numbers related to the corona pandemic. Nearly 80%, which is a huge majority of people, develop only mild to moderate symptoms, and some of them do not have any symptoms at all. On the other hand, we see a smaller percentage of people, especially the ones with pre-existing conditions like cardiovascular disease, cancer, high blood pressure, uncontrolled diabetes, go on to develop serious complications because of this infection, and even the best of healthcare is unable to save them. In this situation, you can clearly see that the immune system plays a huge role in saving a person's life. In fact, it's so crucial that we have no chance against any infection if this immune defense is weak. So what have we been doing to save or improve our immune system? Sadly, not much. To the contrary, we see a rising trend of younger and younger people suffering from chronic diseases like cardiovascular disease. You see rising rates of obesity all over the world. You see high blood pressure. You see a high stress life leading to a weakened immune system. And in this video, I would like to shed some light over this aspect, the immune system, and what can we do to improve it? What can we do to protect it? We have seen a few viruses like these before with different levels of contagiousness like SARS, Zika, Ebola, all with their own characteristic symptoms and infectiousness and fatality rates. And we can pretty much be sure that the corona pandemic is not going to be the last one. In fact, we could anticipate this coming for many years now, that if there is a global pandemic which is infectious through respiratory tract, we are not prepared for it. But the focus of the whole world was on developing vaccines for it, and which still is. We are looking for a vaccine. It might take 6 months, might take a year, it might take 2 years before we are able to develop a vaccine against it or a treatment for this pandemic. So since this is not the last pandemic we are looking at, can we afford to lock down the whole world each time there is a viral pandemic? Can we really afford to let so many people die while we look for a vaccine or a treatment for it? Or do we need to think differently? So we need to ask ourselves, how can we be better equipped to deal with a pandemic like this and any future pandemic? And since we know that our immune system would play a crucial role in deciding how fatal or dangerous the next pandemic is, or even this pandemic is, we urgently need to work on our immune systems. Now let's talk a little bit about homeopathy and how homeopathy offers a treatment method which focuses on the person's immune system. The unique thing about homeopathy is that we do not focus on the organism that causes the infection. We focus on the reaction of the person to the organism. This has a few advantages, and those are that we don't have to wait to even learn what the infecting organism is, since we totally depend on our natural immune defense to fight whatever it is, whether it's a bacteria, a virus, a fungus, any infection. And we can bank on our immune system, our natural ability to defend itself, and stimulate that. In a homeopathic analysis, all the factors that possibly influence a person's health are taken into consideration. Emotional well-being is given a very high priority, because we all know, and we are learning even more and more, that emotional stress, emotional disturbance can have a huge impact on our ability to fight infections. It can have a huge impact on our general functioning, on our quality of sleep, And all of these things have a huge impact, again, on the ability of a person to cope and survive. So from this holistic point of view, let's look at all the factors, or the primary factors, which have had a negative impact on our immune systems. I would start with number one, increased levels of stress. Now, when I say stress, it doesn't necessarily mean a temporary situation where things are not going well or you're facing an acute crisis, and it's not limited to that. Stress can be low-level, constant stress. Stress can be of a nature where a person isn't even aware that they are under stress. I would give you a few examples of increased stress. Before I do that, let me explain you a little bit the definition of stress in homeopathy. We look at stress as perception of a person, of a situation. We also see the reaction of the person to that perception. And if that is disproportionate to the reality or the situation, it creates stress in the body. So it's all about perception and reaction. If you see a piece of rope and you perceive it to be a snake and you react, fast heartbeat, panic, you want to run away, that perception is not the reality, it's your perception. How you react to it was your reaction, and physiological reaction, an emotional reaction, and can in some cases have a lasting impact. Events around us, things that happen in our lives can have a huge impact on our health, depending on our weak areas, depending on our tendency of perceiving things in a certain way. So this is how we look at stress in homeopathy. Now, long-term stresses or major stresses which can really derail a person's health, which can really change the way they live or feel, include lack of being loved, loneliness, grief, unhealthy work environment, stress due to financial difficulties, being in a toxic relationship, social maladjustment, being unhappy or dissatisfied with life, significantly strong anxieties and fears, lack of spiritual connection. Now this increased level of stress or a low level stress which goes on and on for many years or many months goes hand in hand usually with a disturbed or bad quality of sleep. Now sleep or having sleep problems is a huge contributor to a lot of disease conditions, including weakness of the immune system. People are just not aware. They're just not so self-aware, and they don't trust their body's ability to heal. They just don't know what to do other than take pills for every little symptom. They just want things to go away. They just don't have the patience or the knowledge to understand what is going on inside their bodies. They don't know any better. This leads people to seek treatments which are a lot of times unnecessary or wrong. They just want things to go away temporarily, and they just bury their head in the sand. They want things to go away without understanding what is the cause behind these symptoms or a problem. And once they are on this path, I see medications playing a very important, significant, damaging role, especially if they are wrongly prescribed or people doing self-medications. Next important factor, and most of you are aware about it, is poor nutrition. Very high calories but poor nutritional value. These kinds of food, you would call them junk food or emotional foods. I look at them more as emotional foods because most of these food consumptions are wrongly associated with feeling comfortable emotionally. Now, it's okay to consume these foods. These are kind of pleasure, and occasionally having an ice cream or a burger. But a lot of people are unable to get out of this rut, and they're unable to control their impulse to eat. And in most such cases, there is an emotional disturbance underlying it. Then we come to lack of exercise. Now, most of you, again, are aware how important regular exercise is. At least there is a minimum one has to move. I see people nearly not moving at all. Lack of sunlight and fresh air. Use of social poisons. Some of them are socially accepted, or there is almost a pressure, like consumption of alcohol, and the others are addictions, like tobacco. Again, a huge negative impact on general health of a person, including the immune system. So these were some of the primary causes or negative impacts on our immune systems because of the way the world is, because of the way we just programmed ourselves to live. So what can we do to immediately have a positive impact on our immune systems? I would give you some insights from homeopathic philosophy, which really helps us to understand how the defense system works and how we can boost it naturally. Now, the factors I spoke about earlier, I know they are not very easy to change, or you cannot really change them overnight. But while you work on it, while you program yourself to go in that direction, do yourself a favor. Consult a professional homeopath. Get yourself analyzed. A classical homeopathic analysis would go very detailed and deep into your genetic background, into your core beliefs, your perception reaction model, your physical makeup, your lifestyle, your habits, your food, your quality of sleep, and the analysis will finally reveal to you what changes you need to make to your life, first of all, and secondly, what is your remedy type. In homeopathy, there is a concept of remedy type. Now, what it means is each person has a suitable remedy which would work to stimulate their own healing ability. In homeopathy, we look at what is the cause behind it, how is the entire human reacting in this fashion, and how can we change it and put it back to reset? How can we get normal balance back? Now, a lot of people message me and ask me what should they do about this corona pandemic, how can they protect themselves against it? Now, if you are already taking your suitable homeopathic long-term remedy course, you don't have to worry about it, because that will keep your immune system up to date and as strong as it can be, provided you follow the other advice related to preserving and saving your immune system. I have also seen a lot of videos online doing the rounds about what homeopathic remedy can prevent coronavirus. Well, the truth is there is no one remedy that can prevent coronavirus for everyone. We are all different. Now, there might be certain remedies which can potentially improve the immune response to certain viruses. In homeopathy, going back again, your reaction to the virus is more important. How does a person respond? How does an immune system respond? So ideally, what is required is a detailed analysis of a person to know what is their suitable immune booster. So basically, there are two types of homeopathic prescriptions. One is your ongoing health improvement, health maintenance prescription, which is very long-term, and it looks into all the aspects of your functioning. And the moment there is a disturbance which is noticeable, it is taken as a sign that something is not balanced. And a remedy is prescribed to improve that and fix that and reset that. The other type of homeopathic prescription is when you are in an acute crisis, like you face an infection, or you fall sick with some, like an indigestion, food poisoning, or you get a headache because you sat on the beach for too long. Now that is an acute crisis, and it's an acute prescription which can help your body to recover from that as quickly as possible, totally depending on your own healing ability. Remember the difference between a chemical prescription, which is aimed at suppressing symptoms or controlling symptoms. A homeopathic prescription does not control or suppress any symptom. It simply tells the body to work harder to fix the problem, to work harder to fix the cause. And another incredible aspect of this whole process is that you might be even going through an emotional crisis, and there are homeopathic remedies that can help. So taking care of a person emotionally, mentally, and physically, and combining that with the right advice, lifestyle changes, etc., puts the person in a much better place with a much more healthy immune system to handle crises like this. Even if a person is not under regular homeopathic treatment, it is possible to stimulate the body to get over a crisis. Apart from homeopathic treatment, what else can you do to improve your immune system? What else can you do to immediately have a positive effect on your whole health? Work on your anxieties and fears. Strong anxieties and strong fears have a very negative effect on the immune system and general health of a person. Please avoid binging on news about corona pandemic. Please avoid watching those news channels which dramatize the whole situation. I'm not saying it is not serious, it is, but we don't need to binge on it. It won't really help to fall sick because of fear. Laugh as much as possible. Laughing is known to boost the immune system. Believe it or not, there are even clubs, laughter clubs. And I'm not talking about the stand-up comedy types. I'm talking about laughter as a therapy, where people get together and they just laugh. They find a reason to laugh and they really laugh. And it has been proven scientifically that laughing raises your immune levels. Another thing you can do is try fasting. Well, if not fasting, at least you can try to eat less. With this current lockdown and the social distancing, most of us are actually overeating, which is very counterproductive. It is not healthy at all to overload our system with food. In fact, fasting is known to stimulate the immune system in a very, very deep way, especially if you do it consistently, like 2 to 3 times a week. Another important one, start sleeping more and consistent. If you do not sleep enough, or if you're not able to sleep enough, seek professional help. Homeopathy offers very good remedies to solve sleep problems, and they do not work like sleeping pills which artificially numb your brain, and they are non-addictive. You can sort out your sleep problems and you can see that your life changes for the better immensely. Your energy levels, your mood, your immune system, everything would improve. Get sunshine and fresh air. I recommend at least 15 minutes of sunshine on as much skin as possible. Try to breathe in the fresh air. Please do not go out in the outdoors if there are lockdown and restrictions. Follow your government's directives, but as much as possible, try to get sunlight. Open the window. And please, when you do that, do not hold or stare at your phone. Breathe the fresh air and focus on your well-being. Focus on your breath. Exercise and move as much as possible. Eat more fresh vegetables and fruits. Try to reduce on processed foods, junk foods. Minimize added sugar. Cut out alcohol. We need the commitment, because if we don't take care of our immune system, it won't be able to take care of us. Now, if you suspect that you have any signs of infection, please follow the directives of your government wherever you are. If you are told to stay at home and call for help, please do that. If you need to quarantine yourself, please do so for the sake of the whole world. In my next video, I would be talking about a few common homeopathic remedies which can help boost your immune system naturally to fight a viral infection. Actually, even bacterial infection. It doesn't really matter. And if you're interested in learning about those remedies, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get the notification as soon as I have the time to shoot and edit the video. Take care.